working on finishing up Halo 4 right now. We have a bunch of stuff to show you today. A lot of updates on multiplayer, so you're going to get some new information about multiplayer and some detail and stuff you already knew. But how do you guys feel about world exclusives? This is pretty much RTX focused, so today you're going to get the first ever and exclusive unveiling of Forge in Halo 4. I think I'll pass it off to my right and then we'll loop back to canon because we're saving the best for last. So on my right is Max.
Yeah. Oh, I would like to say something about Max for all of you that are from the Austin area. They are locals, so we are excited to have certain affinity working with us on Halo 4. We are also excited to have some of them sitting here on the panel. So Max, do you want to tell us a little bit about certain affinity and also who you brought with us and why I'm like rumbling from whatever that is? I'm all like, oh, that is New York Jazz Hands.
All right, so hello everyone, my name is Max. Thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Oh, now can you hear me? Yeah. All right, now we're talking. So sorry, we don't do this too often, but we're a local Austin developer. We were actually here at RTX last year. I know in the last session, a few of you were here. How many people were here last year? So yeah, we actually we showed off Crimson Alliance. Actually announced the game and showed it off at RTX this year. And thanks to 343, they're allowing us to do another world exclusive, show off some new stuff with Forge that we're really excited about. But also, this is also a chance for us to formally announce our involvement in Halo 4. So yeah, we have a long history with the Halo franchise, Halo series. I worked at Bungie on all the Halo games up through Halo 3, started up Certain Affinity, and then we've worked on, let's see, we did the Blestacular map pack, we did the Defiant map pack, we worked on Halo Anniversary, Waypoint, and now Halo 4. So we're super excited about that. I have two of my guys here with me. They're going to be doing a demo in just a minute, but you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Mike McCarthy. I'm the Senior Brand and Community Manager at Certain Affinity. In my past life, I used to work in development for Certain Affinity. So I worked on Halo Waypoints and on Halo 4. My name is Adam Christ. I'm the design lead at Certain Affinity. And recently I worked on the map pack for Reach, the Defiant map pack, and then Halo Anniversary, and now Halo 4.
I'm Canon Pearson. I'm the lead multiplayer level designer at 343, and I was actually here for about 12 years in the Austin game development community before moving over to the tossed salad of talent at 343.
Before we start into things, I thought we'd do something super quick, super fast. I'm going to give every panelist two different options. They're just going to choose one. Haven't done this before, so just choose whichever one you like off the top of your head. And here we go. Adam, pink or lightish red?
Pink.
Is that the right answer? Mike, Puma or Warthog?
That is a tough one. What does the audience think? Okay, I heard that perfectly. I'm going to go with Warthog.
That is correct. Max, energy sword or gravity hammer?
Energy sword.
Ryan, I'm going to skip to you. Blood gulch or coagulation?
Blood gulch.
Mr. Frank O'Connor, red or blue?
Briefs, because like I know I said boxers this morning. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees out there. We would just give the ladies something.
That was not about too much information.
No, it's fine.
And moving on from that rather awkward moment, I am Via Angel. I will be moderating for you today. I'm not sitting on the panel. Frank told me the last time I sat on a panel, I told too many really, really bad jokes. For the record, it was the Griffball panel. I said I thought Griffball was the bomb. Good, right? Right? So, no bad jokes. I thought we live demo. It is a never before seen live demo. So, Max, if you want to start off the demo, I will stop talking.
All right, looks like we can see the screen. So yeah, real quick, we're going to be showing Forge. I think most of you probably know what Forge is, know all about it, but for anyone who doesn't, Forge is a map editor that we shipped originally in Halo 3. Been iterating on it ever since, making it cooler and better. It's also part of the toolbox that the Rooster Teeth guys use doing the RVB episodes. So we thought that it was time to overhaul a little bit, make a few improvements, and I hope that you guys like some of the work that we've done. So I'm going to hand it over to Mike, and Adam, I think will be driving. But before I do, thanks to Frank, one caveat. What you guys are seeing in here is a pre-release build. It's not final. The interface, the environment, you name it, it's all still in development.
Not final, still in development.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
The UI in particular is actually just sort of placeholder,
Yep.
passed on from Reach. The final UI will be reflective of the rest of the Halo 4 UI, so that's absolutely the most temporary element in here.
All right. So, Mike, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure thing. Hopefully I am loud enough, or louder than Jimi Hendrix's resurrected ghost that's going on. So we're here to talk about Forge, and as everyone said, this has never been seen before. And with the placement of the monitor and the lights going in our eyes, Adam and I can barely see it ourselves. So please bear with us as we kind of fly around the map just using the force here. Muscle memory. Well, I don't have any muscle, so that's a problem. But as you can see, what we have on the screen here is, as you can see, we have the ravine. Now, this is one of 3 Forge environments that are going to be shipping in Halo 4 on November 6th. And as you can see, Adam's flying around here. This is probably the most beautiful Forge environment that you've ever seen before. So we're taking a lot of care to create a really kind of beautiful space for you to play in. And we're really excited to see when we set you guys loose on it, what exactly you'll be creating. So we want to talk about a few of the improvements that we've made to Forge. So, and you know what, there's just happened to be a nice little garbage pile here that had nothing to do with my presentation, but I'll talk about it anyway. Okay, so in the past, if you had, for example, like a spawn point or something on top of another object, it was a little bit of a pain to grab. But as you can see, as Adam is kind of rolling over the different things in this pile of garbage, you see the name highlight, create small, respawn point. There's no guesswork in terms of what you're grabbing, so there's no trial and error. You'll be able to grab exactly what you want, because when you do, when you put the crosshairs over it, the name will highlight and you will know exactly what you're picking up. So that's one of the improvements we put in Forge for Halo 4. So if you have something, so this bunker round, for example, you see the name down there because we got the nice highlights. And you're placing it, and you're taking a lot of time and loving care to put it exactly where you want it. One thing that used to be a drag was you could easily kind of accidentally bump the controller and move it out of position, and all that time and loving care that you put into it is now down the drain. But if you have it where you like it, like Adam does here, you're giving you the ability to lock it. So, that's right. I love you more. So now we have this nice piece exactly where we want it. It's locked. It is going to stay there until the end of time, or when if Adam decides to unlock it and move it wherever he likes. So you see we have this half a bunker. I mean, who out there wants half a bunker? Only that guy. You, out of here, security. Okay, no one wants half a bunker is the correct answer. So, if you have something that repeats, so like a road, a racetrack, we've seen a lot of cool racetracks and stuff like that in different course maps. If you have something that you want to repeat, now we've given you the ability to dupe it. So, Adam has, this guy loves duping. Okay, so Adam has duped the base, and he is getting it lined up, and you know, sometimes it used to be a little bit of a pain to get things exactly lined up. If you bump the controller and then the axes were kind of screwed up. So we want you you've spoken, we've listened, and we've created a magnet system. Magnets in 2012. Everyone can vote for that. Okay, so if you enable magnets and you put two pieces together, like Adam's doing here, the bridge really easily magnetized. Jimi Hendrix is back. The pieces magnetize together, fit together seamlessly. So if you're going to build something like a bridge here, you can build it. This used to take, I think we timed it, and I think it was 9 years to build a bridge. It's taking under 9 seconds. So that's a huge improvement. So if you're building something, a racetrack, a bridge, a wall, something that repeats, you just need to keep tubing and magnetizing and build what you want to build in a fraction of the time. So let's focus on actually the mechanics of building, more on the actual creativity. So we built a couple things, we're liking it, and now let's talk about how it looks. So if you take a look at the both half of the base round, bunker round that we slapped together here, take a look at the lighting. This thing looks like it is high noon. This also is a kick-ass Halo map. Nice. It looks bright. I mean, it's practically glowing. So if you're in a low lighting kind of situation and you would have something that looks like it's on the center of the sun, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But if we go into player mode now, boom, dynamic lighting. Okay, so yeah, keep it up for dynamic lighting. Objects now accept shadows from the environment or other forged objects. And if you see, like down there where Adam just was, forged objects also cast shadows on the environment. So that means anything you put down in Forge is going to be a lot more integrated with the environment. So we want to give you the ability to create things faster and more efficiently, but we also have taken a lot of time and care to make sure that whatever you create is going to be beautiful.
Did you say what the lighting system is called? Because it kind of sort of has the most amazing name ever.
It does. The name is so amazing that it's a trade secret and I cannot talk about it lest I be killed by Max. It is a very long, multi-syllable lighting system that I personally am not smart enough to talk about. I know what it does, but
it has the word probe in it. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's just stay away from probe here. But it's really cool, and as you can see, it looks great. One other thing I want to talk about before we move off of the beauty of Forge is take a look at this object here. So a lot of very talented artists have spent an awful lot of time to overhaul all the Forge objects. So you, the fan out there, are spending tons of time and effort into making these things with a lot of time and care, and we wanted to make sure that all the Forge objects look just as good or comparable with what are in MP and single player maps. So everything is going to be a lot more beautiful, easy, and efficient to make. So now let's see, we've got a little bridge going over the ravine. I've got money on saying Adam cannot make the jump, so let's see. Oh my God, not even close, as you can see. Okay, so in the past, if we wanted to make a jump like that, we would have to alter gravity, and that would apply to the entire map. So if you wanted to create low gravity, you have basically a low gravity map. That's right. I mean, you guys are so smart, I don't even need to tell you what's going on here. But for the one guy out there, yes, I'm talking about you, sir, who looks confused, let me just describe it. What Adam has done is laid down what's known as a player trait zone. What is a player trait zone? It's a player trait zone. Come on. The name describes it. In that little zone that he's made, which he scaled to just really the size of the bridge, you can affect the Spartan's traits. So let's say speed, jump size, or jump height rather, damage absorption, a lot of other things. And so now with that trait zone laid down, let's see if you can now make the jump. Oh yeah. You're supposed to tell me that I should have bet on that jump.
Why you were betting against me?
Oh, that's right, that's right. Well, you pay me, so. Anyway, it all comes from me. We easily made that jump with the player trade zones, and we're really fired up because we think, in addition to a lot of the other improvements, we're really fired up to see what you, fans, are going to create with these new player trade zones. Okay, so we're going across the other side now, and okay, we made it easily, but unfortunately, we did not stick the landing in Mary Lou Retton or Carrie Strokes fashion, depending on how old you are. Me, I'm old school, so he didn't pull Mary Lou Retton, and we got to do something to change that. Okay, so we can easily lay down another player trait zone, and in that zone, we can do something like either overshield when he gets in there, or damage resistance, and alter how much damage he can take. Invulnerable. I have a feeling that he is going to make the jump down. I know, it's like ESP. So, let's see. Max, double my salary if he makes it. Okay, good, done. Nice, okay. Okay, I'm going to double my salary, so that's going to happen.
Now I gotta pay you $10 an hour?
That's right, that's right. Welcome to the big times now. Okay, so those are just a couple things that we put in Forge for Halo 4, but we're really fired up to see what exactly you guys are going to be creating when we put these powers in your hands.
Yep, thank you, Mike. And we actually have something else related to this that we're going to be showing you all in just a little while after kind of thoughts.
So my next sentence may or may not be a hint at what that something later is, but in my opinion, it sure does look like you could make some awesome horse challenges on that map. Ooh, I wonder what's coming next. But Forge is only one of the modes coming in Halo 4, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the multiplayer experiences that you will be having come November 6th. Oh, magical guys in the back, could you switch from video to whatever the other thing is? Laptop?
All right.
Thank you. Canon?
Yeah, so the Halo 4 campaign is the triumphant return of the Master Chief, and that's awesome. I'm pretty partial to multiplayer. Do we have any other multiplayer fans in here? So multiplayer takes place as the Halo Infinity multiplayer experience. It's all in the Infinity, and there's two components to that. First is Spartan Ops, and the other is War Games. Spartan Ops takes place 6 months after the events of the Halo 4 campaign. And it's our ongoing, episodic, cooperative experience. Everything that you do in Spartan Ops works towards building up your personal character so you can customize your loadouts and use that experience across both modes, Spartan Ops and War Games. Each week, you get one episode of an ongoing CG series, and in addition, you also have 5 missions that are available. And this continues on. War Games, the second component, is the traditional competitive multiplayer component of Halo 4. It takes place in the Spartan battle simulation where players can pit their skills against one another in order to basically, prove themselves, and the other thing is that they can update their character and customize their options in ways that now affect more than just their cosmetic options. So our new player progression system allows you to tailor your playstyle to whatever you want. So you can change your loadouts, your weapons, your armor abilities, and all new armor mods, which again let you kind of tailor your playstyle. We have a bunch of new weapons and some interesting surprises, but coming up next, we've got a bunch of our game modes. So we have Capture the Flag, Oddball, and King of the Hill returning, which are all customized now to be new for the Halo 4 sandbox. But we have some all new modes like Regicide. Regicide is an update to our free-for-all mode, or it's a new free-for-all mode, completely new to Halo 4, where the player in lead is King. The King has a bounty over their head, which you can see here, and every other player on the field knows exactly where they are at all times. If you kill the King, you get the bounty, and that basically causes some wild lead swings late on in the game. Everybody knows.
When we do our playtest at the studio, there is one person who will remain unnamed, Dave Ellis, that when you get right at the end, he will purposely dirty.
So we also have Regicide here at the show, so you can play it.
Don't do that.
On Halo 4. One of the other modes that we have is Infinity Slayer. So Infinity Slayer is a new Team Slayer mode, which has two new components. The first is our new scoring system, and the second is our ordnance system. As you can see here, as you build up your ordnance meter by playing well, you will eventually be able to call in your own power-ups and power weapons. So power-ups make a return to Halo. We have the Overshield, but for Halo 4 we also have speed boost and damage boost. Damage boost is an increase in the amount of damage that you do whenever you have this power up. So if you see somebody glowing red, just know that they're going to deal more damage.
In other words, it's not going to end well for you. Unless you're red, then it'll be okay.
We also have 3 maps here at the show, the first of which is Haven. Haven is a small-scale Forerunner map. It takes place deep within the clouds of Requiem, and it's basically a 2-tier map. There's some jump gaps in the center, so if you're engaging people and fighting and you're running into some trouble, you're getting damage, you can always drop back to the lower tier on the jump gaps.
Haven is awesome. I can't wait till you guys play it.
Next up, we have Adrift. Adrift takes place on a recommissioned mining vessel that the UNSC are using towards the war effort. It's a symmetrical map, and there's an outer ring on it that has some main cannons that launch you, but then it all converges into the center room, which has the mech in the middle. And again, do we have any sword fans in the audience? People like using the sword? Well, whenever you play today, run for the middle because the sword is between the mech's legs.
It's not nearly as bad as it sounds. It actually is.
And the last map that we have, which you can play tomorrow, you'll be able to play Infinity Slayer on Longbow tomorrow. Longbow is a large-scale vehicular map that basically has the return of some favorite Halo vehicles, Warthog, Mongoose, and the Ghost, which have all been updated for Halo 4's sandbox. We also have Sprint by default, so even if you're not in a vehicle, you can still cover a lot of ground on your own by kind of running around. Who wants to see some new weapons? So first up is the scatter shot. This is a Forerunner shotgun. The shots reflect off of surfaces, but one of the cool components of this is that whenever you shoot somebody and kill them with it, they'll disintegrate. Next up is the light rifle. The light rifle is cool because it's a fusion of the DMR and the BR in concept. It's a Forerunner weapon, but it shoots a triple shot burst from the hip, but if you zoom in, it's a single precision shot. Next up, we have the sticky detonator. This is a cool weapon that allows you to fire a projectile that will latch onto any vehicle, player, or surface, and then you can manually choose when to pull the trigger and detonate it. So what I like to do is fire it at Frankie's head and then let him run around before choosing to make it blow up.
Nobody ever seems pleased to see me come back into our base with their flag. Hey, Frank, is that on your head?
And last but not least, we have the updated shotgun. The shotgun is basically the returning favorite weapon, but it looks new and it's awesome. I tend to use the armorability thruster pack to kind of close the distance and then shotgun people to take them out, but that never tends to work on you, Adam. Why is that?
I have skill. And the cartilage shield. Stop it.
Yep, awesome. Well, thanks for letting us share some of the new multiplayer components with you.
Challenges on Ravine, which is that forge variant that you saw. I thought we should maybe test that theory, and I thought who better to test that theory than Jack and Jeff. We have to go back to the console, and I totally don't think we told you that, so I hope you can hear me. Console, please. Here, come on. Sure.
It's really cool from our perspective.
Yeah, that's great.
before we get started, I think you said that this was horse, but I think technically this is actually three different challenges. So I think that makes this a pig map. Is that right?
Well, they shut Jack out with me.
Actually, it's a pie map. It's a pie map, okay.
There's only 3 challenges.
So when I beat Jeff in the first 2, I win?
Yes.
We just skipped the third one? All right,
Yep.
cool.
All right.
What do we do? Hey, look at that. There's an RTX. Jeff's an awesome cameraman. Don't look right. Don't stop it.
That's a surprise.
So what do I do?
Still this mic. Just go through that teleporter and we'll start the first challenge. Right, there you go.
Okay.
That's not all.
That doesn't seem like a teleporter.
That's awesome. Check this out. And now it's teleported over.
Teleported.
So this one's pretty simple. Just get on the mongoose and jump across the ramp.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Wait, so,
Jack loses.
makes it a little difficult. Yeah.
So one of the things you guys might notice is there's these cool purple volumes. They are grab volumes, so they'll affect everything from players to physics crates to vehicles. And you can flip their direction around, so you can launch people down or up to the side.
All right. Yeah, honking always helps.
If you make it to the final stage, it will affect you.
All right.
So we just have to make the jump, right? So you get
Following
4 meters. So,
What you do?
you can hit up.
Clearly. All right.
Oh, so
Look at that.
if you go to the, let's see if this teleporter works. Or see that. Yep, that teleporter works.
Oh, did?
Let's go to the other side.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
I would teleport you. You were in Portugal. Dude, this looks awesome.
Yes.
This looks really, really cool. And I am not I'm not excited to see.
That's a P.
That's a P. All right, what's next?
So now you guys just have to jump across this debris right here. You get to the other side.
He's jumping across the bridge.
Totally simple, yeah.
Perfect. You're doing a good job.
So there's some player traits here that should help you out when you get down below. You will have
That's what Jeff looks like by the end of the day. All right, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did they say anything? Oh, look at that. I did not die. How did I not die?
So down here is a cool player trait.
I'm nervous. Do I win? Is this it? I won. I made it over the barrel. I won, right? Jeff, you lose.
I'm pretty sure you ran into a wall.
I'm totally, look, I'm winning. I'm totally winning.
Would you continue to play this
Okay,
game?
I'm jumping. It's mongoose. So jump on the mongoose and then clear the wall. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
You always go to Portugal. You don't want to like shut up.
Well, because suicide takes like 8 seconds. Learn the game, dude.
Where am I going? All right. So I get down low. I get my overshield. There we go. Now, and if you jump in here, you.
Oh, how did you say that?
So I'm good at this game. Excuse me.
Are you going to jump over this stupid thing or not?
Yes. No.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, I mean, it's the bucket thing goes up. This further than you have. Further than you. I'm retreating towards you. All right. You found the barrels. All right. This is it. I feel it. Oh, Jesus. Okay. No, I got it this time. Good God. Where's my overshield? Where's my overshield? Cheating. Jump on the side. I think we're almost there.
Into the middle of the RTX.
The middle of the RTX?
Yep. You can't enter it.
It's not. No, I'm just reloading.
So there's a player to involve because it's not letting you get into the vehicle.
That was brilliant.
Wait, so I have to push
Knock
it off
it
and
down,
then
genius,
Yep,
and then
knock
pop
it
it.
down and catch it in the air.
Got it. All right, here we go. Ready for this? I think you said this was easy.
He said it was simple.
Okay. Doing a great job. All right. What am I looking at? Dude, these things respawn quick. That's one thing in horse, like, it's like, you know, stuff doesn't respawn very quick, but they're still back. That's good. I like it. It's fixed for the new one. I'm back. Hey, no, don't do that. That's wrong. That's cheating. Joel, get off of me. Yeah, I gotta fly through the what? The
You're
RTX?
gonna fly in the middle of the T.
Fly into the middle of the T. Is there? Oh, look at that. There's a target. Oh no. Oh no, Jeff. I feel so bad. Please play Halo 4 in front of a bunch of people. Thank you.
Okay, we would love to answer some of your questions. So if you have any, I think there are mics somewhere for you to go to. That was really helpful, I know. You're welcome.
Oh, before the questions though, I forgot to mention, Spartanops is going to be playable at San Diego Comic-Con next week.
Okay, let's start with the person that I can't see on this side.
Yes, hello. One of the biggest questions that I think is, that's on my mind, is do you think that you'd be able to hold true to the Halo storyline? Because with all the fan base that's been gathered over the few games that have been made, I'm being led to believe that there might be a big disappointment if y'all don't do it right.
If I didn't bathe correctly this morning, that would be disappointing. Saying, first off, you got to scrub everything, folks. No, we're working hard. We understand that pressure, but it's the external pressure, the pressure from the fans, is something that we think about every day. But I have to be blunt, like that pales in significance compared to the internal pressure among the team members and our extended team members to make every single person in that building right now is trying to make the best game they've ever worked on, and that's who we hire, and that's who you should hire. So the pressure is there, and we'll let the fans decide when the game comes out, but the effort and the energy poured into that effort is unbelievable. So we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, person I can't see on the right.
I have a question for Ford. Are we going to get like weather or like time of day settings at all?
No. I will say there's a lot of things that you can do with the tools that are in there and also the fact that you render shadows in real-time lighting and stuff like that is really going to change the look of it. But one of my favorite things about the new lighting engine is the fact that the warning that it is now rendering the light is literally not on screen long enough for you to read the whole thing. So but I think you're going to be able to see an awful lot of really distinctive looking Forge maps that don't have the sameness that they've had traditionally, and things are just going to look much, much better.
Yeah, kind of like Mike mentioned earlier, we have a really nice variety of Forge environments. This is probably the most tame of them, honestly. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I should point out that is one of the Forge environments that's available, and one of the palettes that we're talking about. So there's a lot of visual variety that will solve that, I think.
First off, I want to say thank you. I honestly can't wait for the game to come out. It looks amazing. So, my question is, would you ever bring back the hump day? I remember back in the day, I always would get home from school and like, all right, who are they going to play this year? Or this month, this week, whenever they did it. And if you do bring it back, would you possibly ever stream it or maybe do it for a charity just for people to tune into? Because I know I've always wanted to play it. I go on every day.
The practical problem with the hump day challenge that we encountered after probably about 50 versions of it was that people started to figure out my bullshit. And knew that I was going to count the 3 games that we won in succession, or change the rules, or make the secondary loadout weapon a rocket launcher and not tell them.
Yes, I played that one. I played that one. It was like
and you lost,
Halo 2
so
plasma
there you go.
pistol starting, and then all of a sudden they all had
Well,
rockets.
check what you're carrying. Look at your UIs right there. I don't make the rules. Actually, I did make the rules. It's something we'll do. I mean, ultimately, I think that Hump Day Challenge it's a Halo tradition, but it's also a Bungie tradition. So we'll give them first dibs on the day of the week. But we'll definitely do challenges with the press and the fans. So we'll be doing it. Yep. Thank you.
Actually, I should give this to you because you just want to kick our ass. You should just go back. Just kidding. Come on. Right?
How much of the book canon is actually going to make it into this new trilogy?
How much of the, sorry?
The book canon?
Oh, certainly the last, the Greg Bear novels and the Karen Travis novels are doing a lot of really significant setup. So in this case, a huge amount. Typically in the past, the books have, they've been separate stories. They're all canonical, but they've been sort of separated by distance and time in a way that we're not anymore. You won't need to read the novels to understand it, but anyone who's actually invested in that fiction is going to have a lot of notes of resonance and surprise when they play the game, because there's an awful lot of that material in there, and it's been really good universe building for us in the interim.
I did have some news, Sam, on that front that you didn't hear from me. Left.
My question is, can we drop weapons and can we lower weapons? And are you allowed to say?
Yeah, we'll fully support those features for multiplayer.
Right?
Okay, so I know that you've got all the new loadouts and new weapon drop features. Is there going to be a classic playlist without those?
So, I mean, the simple answer to this question, I'll let Kynan elaborate, is that we actually have finished the matchmaking playlists for the game. We're working on that now, obviously, as we start to finalize the rest of the systems. We're definitely going to concentrate on a fairly traditional, streamlined playlist selection when the game launches. But honestly, the real answer is that's all we can really say at this point. You're obviously going to see things like Infinity Slayer and traditional Slayer variants in there, but we're trying to make sure that we have a nice, focused, concise playlist management system in place for when Halo 4 launches. We definitely had a sort of complicated set of situations with Halo Reach, especially with the title update. The good news is that Reach started to creep back up in the charts as a result of some of that, but we understand people's frustration with how many playlists there are, things like Squad Slayer being moved out and all that stuff. So we take it really seriously. It's just a really hard problem to deal with, and we'll have more to say about playlists closer to launch. But I think everyone in this room is certainly happy with the selection.
Thank you.
Did we just do the right or the left? I think I'm the one who's supposed to be keeping track of this. I don't know which side we're on. Left?
Yeah. This side. Okay.
For Forge, will there be an undo and or redo command?
the infinite undo request? Yeah, the short answer is no. Apparently, because Forge supports network, you can have actually multiple players in there, which is something that we looked into a lot. We really wanted to do it. It was just a huge undertaking. So hopefully what we've done by adding all these new accessibility features is hopefully reduce the need for that.
I'd say that the combination of magnets and the ability to repeat object placements takes care of the vast majority of undo and redo situations. You're really just an X button to delete or a repeat away from both of those scenarios. It actually feels like it to me.
Will there be any in-game rewards for previous Halo titles?
I actually don't know what the achievements look like for that stuff. The answer is we don't know. On this panel, about 50 people back at the office are raging at me right now because they know, but we don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question. With the Halo fan base, there's a big difference in the video game world. There's sort of a big discrepancy between the Halo fan base and the Call of Duty fan base, and it's kind of a rivalry. It's not really based on reason. It's just kind of a prejudice. We hate each other because they're not us, And there's a lot of things that y'all talk about in like Infinity Slayer and things, and with customizable classes, with instant respawns, with grenade indicators on your reticle, with sprint being a trait and stuff like that. Things that are seem to be very Call of Duty oriented when we're bringing them to Halo. Don't consider that like with the fan base and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we deal with this question a lot. I think that certainly in terms of customizing your player, it's really not the same thing at all. I use the metaphor, it's like tuning your car for handling rather than swapping a V8 engine into it. It's fairly subtle in the long run. But I mean, things like grenade indicators, that's just something people are used to. We're trying to make the game absolutely approachable for new players as well as old players. But to your point, there's whole generations of players who've grown up now without ever having played Halo, and so they don't know how it's supposed to be or how it's supposed to feel. So we're trying to make some of those UI and sort of education decisions about the game's content with new players in mind, with intergenerational players in mind. But ultimately, the simple fact of the matter is it doesn't really play or feel like Call of Duty in any way whatsoever. The loadout system, I've said this before, but it's literally true. The loadout system, when we were first looking at it, looked more like Gradius loadout system in the arcade game from like 1986 than it did anything else. So a lot of these are just systems that get moved around and revisited and reused in appropriate places. But we're not trying to take anything away from Call of Duty. I play Black Ops myself all the time, and they're just two completely different feeling experiences. Hard to explain that to your mom when you're playing an FPS, but that's how it feels for me.
I can also jump in a little bit on this one. Having a certain affinity, we've actually worked on Halo and Call of Duty games, so we have a ton of experience. And I'll say, what Frank's saying is absolutely correct. I think you guys can, if you're willing to wait a long line, you can actually go try hands-on yourself and get a sense for how it feels. But yeah, it's Halo all the way, no question about it. And Adam and I both have spent a lot of time also working on the Call of Duty stuff. And what you do there, it's more than just loadouts and those sorts of things that differentiate these games. There's a lot to do with a lot of other mechanics, a lot of the way the vehicles work, a lot of the way you approach map design. Honestly, is really fundamentally different. And what we've done in Halo 4 multiplayer is incredibly true to the Halo franchise, no question about it.
So in the book Ghost of Onyx, spoiler alert, but at the end, Halsey and I believe it's Blue Team is left in a micro Dyson sphere, and I was wondering if the Spartans there, the Spartan 32s, would be included in Halo 4 or the trilogy.
They will not be in Halo 4, but we have plans for everyone that you just mentioned in terms of following up on their story. And actually, Ghost of Onyx is a good example where we took a book and we told Eric, make sure that this doesn't interfere with this because we haven't finished the story for this game and blah, blah, blah. There's all these sort of logistic things where you just try to put people in a safe bubble, almost literally in the case of the Dyson Sphere. We don't do that anymore, and so one of the tasks that we have is to go back and clean some of that stuff up so that characters that were sort of sealed off from the rest of the universe that people love are actually reconnected with the universe in meaningful ways. So we'll be doing that, but it's going to be a long-term process. So you will get to find out what happened to those guys, and it will actually be germane to the core game story eventually. Thank you.
I have a quick question about the cooperative and dynamic lighting. When you were playing the demo, it didn't really render the dynamic lighting of the objects you created until after you switched back to player mode. But how will that affect friends in your game when you're playing Forge?
The little warning that we talked about where you see it rendering happens on everyone's screen, basically, right?
Yeah, once one person switches back into player mode, they'll all get that little short pause and it'll generate the lighting.
Oh my gosh, I'm a girl! Yay, I can't reach the mic!
We can't see, so we've only got your word for it. You could be a huge husky Jedi for all we know.
Okay, I will live right here. I was about 30, 40 minutes late, so I didn't hear the whole beginning. I was wondering if you were going to come out with a multiplayer beta like I did in Halo Reach, and when and if that's going to happen.
No. We're doing large-scale testing currently and have been all year within Microsoft, but ultimately, given our schedule and resources, it was not. There's definitely a lot you can learn from a public beta, but I think when we're doing fairly radical overhauls of the systems, the thing you're going to get back from any beta is, oh, just make it the same as it was before when you're doing this kind of evolution. So there's a lot we could have learned, but ultimately resources, time, schedule, and just our ability to get through this project meant that we were better off concentrating those resources internally. I should point out that when I say internal, lots of members of the public get to play and give significant feedback. And we do really, really extensive user testing with real players. This isn't just Microsoft logo, but it's a sort of umbrella, sheltered experience for those people, and they don't have to sign NDAs. But real people just like you, probably a couple of people in this audience might have been doing it, but they can't say it because of NDA.
But if any of you would like to play the game, it's
Yes.
available here.
Yeah, it's the RTX mini beta.
I have another question. Where would that be located? Anybody trying to play it?
It's on the show floor, so if you head out the doors, go to the right, and walk in, it's right on the left.
We have time for 2 more questions. I'm so sorry for those of you that didn't get to ask them, but feel free to come to our booth and ask them there. Go ahead, left.
I just want to say, first off, I've been playing Halo since Combat Evolved, and I've been fascinated by Cortana and her main role as a dynamic character and her changes in her appearances. I was wondering, as she enters her rampancy, is she going to be more of a danger to herself or to her allies, or is it equal?
If she entered rampancy, yes, all those things would be true. It's definitely, she's past due, basically, for rampancy in our story timeline, and we're going to absolutely explore that in a meaningful and interesting way, is all I'll say about it.
Okay, last question. No pressure, but it should be like a super awesome best one ever.
Pressure. I was curious on who you guys have lined up for your voice talent in Halo 4.
Well, we have obviously returning favorites like Steve Dans and Jen Taylor. We have a lot of new cast, and the biggest injection of new people and faces into the game, voices, of course, is in Spartanox, where, because it's episodic fiction, the stories themselves deal with human characters and real people and their relationships. The missions, of course, deal with a lot of shooting and blowing things up and having a blast. But it's a real story about people, so you're going to meet a lot of new characters and faces in the Halo universe, really for the first time since Halo 1. We sort of expanded other things like Lord Hood and Miranda and stuff like that, but this will be the biggest influx of new characters and actually sandbox elements in the series history.
That was a good one to end on. Nice job. We are going to be doing a signing back at the booth right now, so feel free to head over there. Remember that we have war games playable on the floor, so one way or another, I hope we